So getting ready to go out. Basically, I just got this 38-liter Kestrel Osprey pack. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's got a nice little flap to it. It's got a big pouch I can put sleeping bags, stuff like that in. Really what it's all about for me is just efficiency. You know, I'm trying to keep everything that I need in one location. I don't like to have a lot of things hanging off of me if I can keep from it. But I mean, really all it's about is trying to keep myself prepared for pretty much any situation if I'm out doing some stuff, you know what I mean? Something like this, just a small little hike, but I'm just out and I want to be prepared, you know. I always have pistol on the side. Got the little pocket knife here, not really pocket knife, boot knife, whatever you want to call it. I'm just trying to get things together and make sure that I'm well prepared for every situation that I can come across. I mean, in every survival situation, I may not be carrying a weapon, but in most of them, I can try to help prevent myself from creating another problem or getting into a bigger situation that I can't really get myself out of. Now, look, the scenery around here, it's relatively rugged. I don't know if any of you have been out here to Cheyenne Canyon, but it's definitely something that's close to my heart. So I try to keep my my visits out here as much as I possibly can. You know, just myself, keep them kind of personal. Letting you guys in on a little bit of sneak peek here. I'm also using a selfie stick here to record this right at the moment. You know, it's kind of interesting. It works. Give me a little shot. Hi guys. So guess we'll get moving. One thing a lot of people won't tell you when you're hiking is that you always want to think about things that are going to happen or that could happen. With that being said, I know the road's only a few hundred feet down, but if I was going for example on a hike and I was going to hike Pikes Peak, I mean that's 14,000 feet up. I'm talking from here 16-17 miles. So I always try to be prepared. I always try to think ahead of things. So, when I'm down here and I see things that are dry, like tinder, things like that I might be able to use for a fire, I'm not opposed to taking some of this and, breaking it off, or some of this that's already been squashed up. Even some of these pine needles that are just hanging around. And I already do have a pack of them that I picked up at another location, but, just breaking these pine needles up, and throwing them in your bag, just in a little packet, or even if you had a plastic bag or something, just try to help keep them dry. It's definitely something that can help you in the future. And the drier it is, the easier it is to light, of course. And there's a lot of little bush and things like that just hanging around here that we can use for that type of stuff. But preparedness is always the key if you're going to be out. And most people don't think about these things. You're just on a hike, and okay, I got a 7-mile hike today. I got my pack of water, my little pocket knife, and that's pretty much all I need. But if the weather just happens to suddenly change, and meteorologists aren't always right, so when you get trapped somewhere in a snowstorm, thunderstorm, whatever it may be, you got to think about what you're going to do to try to keep yourself safe, keep yourself from being, say you're 6 miles up a mountain, and it's a pretty long hike back down, or a run, and you're not going to run down these trails very fast without falling on your face and really injuring yourself. So when you're in a survival situation, that's the last thing you want to do is start running. You always want to keep your head clear, stay calm. I think the biggest thing for me is that I really want to push the issue of being prepared. And most people don't prepare when they go on hikes. They take a sandwich and I'm just going to be out for the day. When you go hiking, you might just be going hiking for 3-4 miles. You know what I mean? But what happens if you're by yourself and you fall down, trip and break your ankle? This is pretty easy right here. Some of this terrain, you just misstep and roll your ankle and you fall down the side of the cliff. And, what are you going to do? You just going to lay there? Depends on the seriousness of your injuries, but it's one of those things, like, you got to try to be prepared for things like that and know that you have the equipment on you to provide yourself not only a safe environment, a little place you could cut out and hang back if you absolutely had to, if it was storming or something. Granted, the road's still right here, but anyway, if you don't have the gear, how are you going to start a fire with no matches? If it's really raining, how are you going to start a fire with matches at all? You know, I try to always keep a tarp on me. Tarp with some small amount of rope. Maybe a bright colored trash bag or something, maybe so I can mark trails. A knife. Things like that can kind of keep you a little bit more prepared for things if you absolutely needed to. And if you can, I mean, if you've studied for a long time and you got a lot of skills, you can technically make rope out of pretty much any of these trees out here. So, I mean, it's not like a lot of these things can't be absolutely done if needed. I mean, but the rule number one in survival is just to find your way to someone to get help. Find your way to safety. So anytime you're out on a trail and you're near water, I mean, you always got a pretty good idea that it's relatively clean. We got this little water source here. It's kind of just flowing, you know, and it's coming off of Pikes Peak, all the snow that's up there. Pretty decent water source. I'll come take you down here for a minute and I'll show you. Got this little waterproof, supposedly phone. You can see it's pretty clear. This little photo right here. About him on a marathon run or something like that up a mountain, and he had a couple of teammates, and the other guys were running out of water before they got up this mountain or whatever, and he was like, you know, let's drink this water, this stream, and they were like, oh no, you're gonna get sick. And he was like, you know, no, it's running, it's clear, it's probably clean, you'll be all right, you know, and so he convinced them to drink it, and they kept drinking it, and as they were going up, the other guys, you know, didn't have any water left, and when they got up to the top and got to the end of the marathon, of course, I'm sure they outperformed some of the other guys because of that, staying more well hydrated. But when they got to the top, he could tell the other guys were, you know, really exhausted, really dehydrated, you know, in really bad condition, and his guys were doing pretty well, you know, and he said, you know, part of the reason that he told them to drink that is because, you know, if you had Giardia in the water, it'd probably take, you know, 6 days or longer for it to affect you. You'd probably be home by then. Then B, you know, you'd rather take the chance, especially in a survival situation, you'd really take the chance of being exposed to something like that, Giardia, cryptosporidium, whatever. You'd rather take the chance than be dehydrated and die because of it. So, like I was talking about earlier, when you're out in the wilderness and you see a lot of dry stuff down below and you know you're going on a long trek or something, you always try to take an extra plastic bag. And all that stuff I scraped off the tree is inside of here. And, you know, I'm going to grab some of these really light colored, dried out pine trees here and some of the bristles, and they're really soft and dry. They'll light up pretty quick. Some of this additional wood off of here, you know, you can break down into smaller pieces to stick in this bag just for some additional kindling, because you never really know what you can find out there if you're going on a hike, you know, especially if it's an extended hike. Like I said, if it's a long distance one and you're going up to higher elevation, you may not find anything but snow, and you'll know as you approach, the closer you get, so you might be able to grab, you know, some firewood or whatever, but at least you know you have some dry kindling that'll start easily. All these little rock formations everywhere. The higher you get up on these mountains, the looser it is. A lot of times wind, snow. I think the biggest thing is the ice. So when it's really cold and it starts to thaw and it snows and it rains, the ice, gets between those cracks in the rocks and freezes it and moves them around. And then when it thaws out, of course, everything starts to move and slide. So then you have things like this right here. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that rock, but that thing's pretty big. And I don't know about you, but I don't think I'd want that thing coming down on me from on top of a mountain.